Welcome councillors, staff and gallery to the July Ordinary Meeting of Council. In opening the meeting, I would like to acknowledge country where we meet in the spirit of respect, cooperation, collaboration. We pay tribute to those who have come before us as we seek to grow our understanding, our connection, our knowledge, our heritage and culture. We pay respect to the traditional custodians of these lands and the European settlers whose customs and traditions have been passed down over many generations. Councillors, I've received an apology from Councillor Troop. She is unwell at the moment, so we'll record that apology. We'll move to the confirmation of minutes, 2.1.1. Council meeting held on the 16th of June 2026 at 5:30 and the special meeting held on Wednesday the 24th of June 2026 at 5 p.m. Councillor Hearns moved and seconded. Councillor Priest.
Well, I actually moved it, but I had my button on, but anyway, I'll second it, that's fine.
He grabbed it out the corner of my eye. All those in favour? Carried. There is a matter that we need to deal with, is the mandatory discretion of rate rebates. We didn't have a quorum and there is a recommendation there that we formally adopt those discretion of rate rebates. Thank you, Councillor. Moved Councillor De Vries and seconded Councillor Hearn. Either one wish to speak to it? Nothing further? All those in favour? Carried. At this juncture in the meeting, I have the privilege of recognising some service awards. First and foremost, Susan Mann, please come forward. I'll meet you in the centre. Susan, thank you sincerely on behalf of Council. You've participated in the first community council meeting held at the Williamstown Memorial Hall as a young lady at 16 years of age. You know the scary part, I was at the same meeting.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And you're still alive.
So Susan was one of the first members of the Williamstown Amateur Players Theatre Group and has been a member for almost 36 years. You became an active participant in the hall meetings roughly 30 years ago, progressing and taking on more and more responsibility. You really do love that building, don't you?
I do.
Approximately 10 years ago, Susan, you took on the official caretaker of the hall, assuming responsibility for the cleaning at first and then the booking process, all on behalf of Council. So Susan, thank you so much for your dedicated service and what you have provided for the local community, but more important, for this council. It's really sincerely appreciated. If you come over next to me, they're going to take a photo of you.
We always see these two. We always see them live.
Hang on, you can come in closer if you like. This is the man from the leader.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you.
Oh, we might need to talk to you.
Oh, okay. You'll be famous.
congratulations and thank you so much. Louise, they tell me you're the legend behind the community labyrinth, eh? You brought together a group of young people, advocated, raised funds, planned and designed until the completion of the labyrinth was achieved in 2018. The 9-year project was full of many twists and turns. Sounds a bit like local government. But it was all worth it though,
That's
wasn't it?
really what life is like.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It
Which
has.
is what the labyrinth is a metaphor for.
Okay, well, so there was many twists and turns, but it was really worth the effort. So congratulations and thank you. Many people visit the Bush Gardens enjoying that relaxing walk, or can join one of the many facilitated walks organised by you. So thank you so much, and there is so much that you've provided over all those years. Louise, they tell me you're part of the Bush Gardens Section 41 Committee, contributing to the wealth, knowledge and ensuring the Barossa Bush Gardens follows the path to a bright future. So congratulations for your contribution, 10 years and another 10 or 20 left in you. What do you reckon?
I wish.
Okay, come over here, we'll get a photo. Well done.
Oops, right. That's it, something like that, and even another one like that. Thank you.
Okay, congratulations.
Just one thing.
Yes.
I wasn't the only person responsible for this, I was one of the team.
Okay, well, it takes a team, and that's what we're about here too, being a team. Okay,
Yeah, one
thank
for
you.
the leader.
One for the leader.
Sorry.
You've got to come back.
No, don't worry. He had to come from Angus.
Excellent, thank you very much.
Now, thank you. Now, I must admit I've been just a little bit mischievous. David Breeze, please come out here, my friend. David, congratulations. David has served 20 years with the Barossa Council. Back in 2003, and during this time has served as the Deputy Mayor, in which you've really been a very, very strong supporter in that area. And David has been a strong advocate for major local government projects, such as the Big Project, including council's recreational facilities and other community initiatives. David, strategic long-term approach to growth and infrastructure planning to help coordinate long-term land use, infrastructure priorities in the region. David is well known in the creative circles of filmmaking, cartoon artist, director and educator. So David, 20 years, it's gone so quick, hasn't it?
It has, it's fun, like.
Congratulations. I'll get rid of the paperwork.
Oh, that's it, beautiful. I'm gonna straighten you off. Excellent, good, one more for us.
Congratulations, mate. You can start a few words.
I think you did a much better job than I was.
Okay, good on you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Councillors, we can move to item 4.1 is the Mayor's report on page 7, which I think I highlighted, moved,
Oh, just-
councillor Evans, and seconded councillor Lane. All I just want to say is 30 years of amalgamation. Gee, it's gone quick, hasn't it?
I just wanted to pull out one item, if I'm allowed,
Oh,
Mr. Mayor.
okay, yes.
I
So-
just wanted to recognise the Tanunda winning the, what was the correct, top tourist town?
Town.
I think we should, on behalf of all the councillors, like to congratulate everybody in council who's involved in that. So I'm sure the events for Gather Round have certainly made an impact and helped that award come to fruition. So well done to everybody at council that
No,
plays a part in that space.
no, well said, and you're right. We're in the mix in Canberra, so we'll see where we fare. So, either one wish to speak? Any? All right. John, sorry.
Mayor, thank you very much. Can I just ask how you got on the 22nd of June, your meeting with Department of Infrastructure and Transport regarding the Concordia connection to the Sturt Highway? Where might that be going? And how might that be going?
Yeah, well,
Or should I just shut up?
we just highlighted the importance of it. I guess Martin can give us a little bit more detail, but yeah, it's still, yeah. Yeah, absolutely, yep.
Okay,
CEO.
thanks, Mr. Mayor. Thanks, Councillor Angus. Yeah, they recognise we need one too.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. There's still work being done at their levels as to the best design, most cost-effective, how that obviously all links into the development. And part of the discussion was, with such a connection to the Sturt Highway, which is really a federally funded road, it was also to talk about, well, in the next 5 years, how do we get the money out of the feds? So it was to start the process, really. Very early levels of work, but also a conversation that we all agreed that all 4 councils in our area had interest in because of heavy vehicle freight route opportunities further along the chain as well. So
have they considered making another flood mitigation dam?
no, they've ruled out that it'll go on the dam.
No, but build another one further downstream.
Oh, no, completely different beast, no. No, we didn't talk to them about that.
They're very short-sighted, but
Yeah.
Thank you. Anything further? All those in favour? Carried. (5.1) on page 13, Councillor Schilling, a report to council showing the strong growth of the bush gardens and an anniversary on the 25 years anniversary. So there's a recommendation. Moved Councillor Greatwich, seconded Councillor Evans. Any further comment? All those in favour? Carried. Under item 6, there's a number of matters for information. If there's no questions or any recommendations from there, we'll move on. We'll move on to the debate report. 7.1.1 on page 171 is the annual report on the internal review of council's decision on page 171. Moved Councillor Angus and seconded Councillor Greatwich. Either one wish to speak? Any further comment? Councillor Barrett.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to compliment the CEO and his staff. For us, having a result like this, it doesn't come lightly that you don't get the public questioning our decision-making unless our policies are very firmly in place and adhered to. So I do congratulate the staff for what they've done over the last 12 months and longer.
Thank you. Any further comment? All those in favour? Carried. Next item is the update to the policy governance framework on page 175. And the recommendation there. Moved councillor De Vries and seconded councillor Hearn. Either one wish to speak to it? Thank you. Put the motion, all those in favour? Carried. Item 7.1.3 on page 195 is the complaint against councillor Priest, tabling the investigations, findings and recommendations to be referred to the behaviour panel, complaint matter 7 on page 195.
I'll declare a conflict of interest and leave the meeting.
Sorry, can I ask just a brief question?
I'll just wait until.
Effect in relation to the conflict of interest. I appreciate that Councillor Priest has a conflict of interest, but I'd just like to raise the possibility that he doesn't in fact need to leave the room for the discussion of this. There's no content in here that he's not already aware of. Anything that will be discussed will be recorded and available for him to hear afterwards. Is it?
I understand it's his decision.
It's his decision. Okay.
Would you like me to clarify, Mr Mayor? He's declaring material conflict of interest. He's got no option but to leave. Is how the Act works.
Page 195, I've got to get there myself. Councillor De Vries.
Yeah, I'm going to move the recommendation, Your Worship.
Thank you. Moved councillor De Vries. Seconded councillor Greatwich. Either one wish to speak to it?
Yeah, I guess I really should say something. Again, this is very disappointing. But half the agenda seems to be taken up with this item. I lost a particular thing, but what surprised me about this was that it's one thing for members of the council to occasionally butt heads with members of the community on a personal level, and that occasionally happens, and I think we can be understanding of that. But in the correspondence, I noted that Councillor Priest responded by signing his name, Councillor Priest, the Barossa Council, and in doing so automatically dragged this council into the mix. Had he not done so, this would have been disappointing, but it could be argued was really a matter between him and the club. Although, if what he seems to have admitted to is accurate, I find it a bit troubling as well that councillors would sort of suggest that their votes are motivated by the behaviour of other people. We should be making decisions in this chamber based on the merits or otherwise of the case, not on whether or not people are giving us the sorts of access that we feel we want. So I think that definitely needs to be investigated. But I am particularly concerned about the fact that he actually signed his name digitally as Councillor Priest, the Barossa Council, and in doing so, therefore, was saying that he was acting in his capacity as a councillor. And for that reason alone, I think this obviously has to go to the panel.
Thank you. I think it's the thing that really I'd just like to draw some attention to is the overall kind of administrative process that's happening in the background or sort of concurrently to this in terms of the Behavioural Standards Board and the consideration that's been given to this is now the 7th complaint that's been substantiated. And I think that there is good reason or justification perhaps from Barossa Council from an organisational perspective I can certainly express this from a personal perspective, an enormous degree of frustration at the time frame and the extended nature of that consideration. This very clearly meets the definition of repeated misbehaviour as defined by the Act. The Act also clearly details the repercussions for repeated misbehaviour, and yet we find ourselves in a position where there hasn't been an opportunity to have a consequence that actually has made any sort of difference or improvement whatsoever. And I just wanted to express that, I suppose, from a personal or professional perspective as well, the frustration at these are processes and frameworks that are ostensibly in place in order to protect the integrity of processes and the well-being and smooth running of council, local government organisations, and yet from the public's perspective, I think it's reasonable to say that justice needs to be done, but it also needs to be seen to be done. So that's not a criticism of any individual person. I understand that there are processes that need to be followed, but it is quite frustrating to be sitting here now in the 4th year of my term as an elected member, and the first complaint was raised against Councillor Priest on Australia Day in our first term, and there has been not an ounce of improvement. The language and the behaviour detailed in this report, I actually just can't believe that we accept this. A situation where someone has to remain in their car. They can't get out of their car at their kids' soccer training. I just think is the fact that this person continues to draw a salary or money from this council, continues to be able to present themselves as Councillor Bruce Priest, I think is absolutely, is really, really sad. And I would love to see some actual, tangible resolution in this matter.
Any further comment?
I'm happy to close the debate.
Close the debate.
Yeah, just one thing I would remind not just my fellow councillors but the community, anybody who might be listening, that we're not in conflict with Councillor Priest. This isn't between us and him. This is 7 different complaints that have come to this chamber. We would have liked this to have been dealt with originally by the Behaviour Standards Panel. They chose to allow us to deal with it when we had to therefore outsource it with legal advice. This council has basically followed the advice of the lawyers at every step. We have not interjected or put our own personal opinions in. We have simply followed recommendations, followed advice. We are very much just functionaries in this process. We are following an act and following a process which has been established by others. I would have loved for none of this to have occurred, but we have no choice. And I don't want anyone to think that this council is actually, first off, we don't agree with the behaviour that's going on, but we're not the one driving this process. We are simply following an agenda that is being set by others, in this case by Councillor Priest himself. He has established the timing of everything. We are simply reacting to his behaviour, and we are reacting according to guidelines which we have no choice but to follow under the Act and under the law. So I wish we weren't in this position. I wish we weren't spending all this time, and I certainly wish we weren't spending all this ratepayers' money. It feels like an incredible waste. The sooner we can get this resolved, the better. I would just like this to be the last time that we find ourselves in this position. But I fear that I have felt that way before.
Thank you. That closes the debate. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Carried. We'll just grab Councillor Priest back. Thank you. What's that? Recommendation, yes. Recommendation 2? 1, okay, sorry.
You've got to call the item.
I know. I'm still finding the page here. Okay, sorry. Amendment to the schedule for council meetings is 7.1.4, and that's the deferral as a, the schedule of those council meetings as a result of the deferred local government elections. On page 420, recommendation 1. Moved Councillor De Vries, seconded Councillor Greatwich. Either one wish, Councillor Angus?
This caught my eye when I was reading it, and I did mean to ring the CEO. And I wonder about the wording of the first line. It infers that the CEO can make a motion. I'd suggest that the word, if you say that council pursuant to Chief Executive Officer's motion, it might be the Chief Executive Officer's recommendation. I believe councillors can form a motion. Sorry to be pedantic, but that's how
Understand your
I see
question.
it.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. There is one instance in the regulations where the CEO can put forward a motion. That's either to correct. So it's one exception where the council. So you've also asked me to, in this agenda, ironically, to also put forward a motion for the issues at Tolunga Park. So it's only very rarely used. It's basically to fix something up or just sort something out. No, that's completely legit. Regulation 21 provides that power. I know you've read the agenda.
I read that.
Either one wish to speak to that recommendation 1?
Which is recommendation 1? It says nothing.
Sorry?
This is the first part.
Oh, the first one, yeah, okay.
Just a formal.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know what we're voting on.
Clarification.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. You're rescinding a part of a motion so that we can put the new dates in and fix the administrative extension of the council's term. Otherwise, we'll be in breach of the Act because we wouldn't have actually set the dates post-November.
Okay, all clear?
Yep.
There's the recommendation with those dates. Councillor Priest.
So moved.
Moved Councillor Priest. And seconded Councillor...
Mr Mayor, you've already got a mover and a seconder.
Oh, have I? On that one, have I? Okay. All right, who have I got?
Councillor De Vries, Councillor Great.
Okay. All right. Part 1. Oh, okay, okay. I haven't put that motion. Thank you. All those in favour? Carried. Now, Councillor Priest moved. And Councillor Greatwich. Yep. So this is the one filling in the dates. Either one wish to speak to it? Yes.
Elephant in the room. We'll obviously be in caretaker mode during this period, and we'll be setting the budget. So we'll be simultaneously trying not to lock in a future council while at the same time trying to lock in a future council spending. How are we going to square that circle? Because this has never ever happened before, that they've allowed caretaker and budget setting periods to overlap. That's a new beast. So how are we going to manage it?
CEO?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Thanks, Councillor. Just for clarification, the caretaker mode starts in early February, 12th-ish, 14th, 10th, somewhere around there. But the new regulations in the Act actually exclude that work on the budget from the caretaker policy. It's expressly stated. However, and
But it
ironically,
defies the purpose of the
Well,
caretaker mode.
yes, to an extent, but the reality is, it's you don't actually need that legislative change because you can't adopt the budget till May anyhow, till after May.
So you wait for the new council to come in and
It's
then,
always going to have to be the new council that's
Yeah.
actually going to have to adopt the budgets and the rates.
yeah,
So
with
in
all
my
of-
view, there's no
with a
need.
month and a half's notice, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting month, yes.
May I ask a follow-up question? So theoretically, I suppose the safeguard to that is that theoretically a newly elected council could come in, look at everything that's been put in front of them and say, actually, we're going to make changes here. Like the actual ultimate decision-making power will lie with the newly elected council. Yeah, that's correct, right? Yeah.
Anything further? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Carried. Next item is 7.1.5 on page 423 is the Tallunga Park investment and service level amendments, post-business case determination. Yep, CEO.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Can I just bring to your attention at the request of Councillor Barrett, there's a part 7 that I circulated earlier. You may not have had a chance to look at the email. Is basically a recommendation just to have a look at how it's going. And Councillor Barrett, when I thought about it, I thought it should be a 12-month cycle to see where we're at.
Councillor De Vries.
I was going to move it, but if Don would rather, then I'll second it.
Moved Councillor Barrett and seconded Councillor De Vries. Councillor Barrett, you wish to speak?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll keep it brief. In relation to this, it's been somewhat a long, drawn-out and tedious process, but we're slowly getting there. In relation, I see there's from point 2A from 1 down to now 7. Some of those things I've already spoken to the football club. Whilst they thank the Barossa Council for their offer, they have got a plan B in place. They for the grand final, and I'm quite happy to let people know about it. They've been working through the Hills Football League, and all the football clubs, with the exception of Birdwood, have offered their ground for a grand final. So people are happy to pick it up, run with it, and they've also got access to the summit. That's on the advice I've received through the football club. So they've got a plan B in place if the Mount Pleasant Oval is not up to scratch. So that one is not going to create great problems. And I've also spoken to the chairperson of the Mount Pleasant Incorporated body. Now, that body come about after the Section 41 committees were done away with, and they've got a meeting tomorrow night, and one of the items they'll be discussing is the new governance, and they'll look at whether they can assist in that regard. There's nothing set in concrete, but that is something we'll look at fairly closely. But then when I reflect on this, I look at how much we're going to spend. And when I first got onto council, I advocated for the brand new irrigation system on the Oval. And here I am in the second term of council, and we're basically putting in another 88,000. I know the first time around we chewed up $100,000 from the reserve fund. And here we are a few years later, we're doing it again. So I just hope we've had some good learnings about recycled water, and we can get things right the second time round. I just hate wasting money, and so I urge people to get behind it, and we can move on. And that's all I've got to say. Thank you.
This one was a little bit about seeing how the sausage got made, but in a way I'm glad that we went through the process, because we got very comprehensive reports as a result of this. I think we have a much clearer understanding of the realities of what's on the ground, literally. And also the comparison between the Mount Pleasant Oval and the Mount Torrens Oval, and the fact that the Mount Pleasant Oval is significantly better, which I think maybe then there's a little bit more gratitude coming our way than might have been earlier. So you hear me talking about not knowing what we don't know. I think this has been one of those cases where we've filled in a lot of the blanks and we have a much clearer understanding of what's going on. I'm sure it's going to help Ben going forward as well. So while it was a bit messy watching the sausage being made, I'm kind of glad that it's been done.
At the risk of being a little bit of a Pollyanna, I actually just wanted to acknowledge Councillor Barrett's role in this sausage-making process. I think it's such an exemplary example of local government working really well and having that incredibly strong relationship with your local community, that there's a relationship of reciprocity and trust and respect. And this hasn't been an easy process, but I think part of the reason that council has been so willing to engage with it consistently has been that very measured but at the same time passionate advocacy for your local community, and I think that deserves to be acknowledged.
Thank you. Any further comment? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Carried. Next item is 7.1.6 is a rescission motion for the Toowoomba Park business case, and there's a recommendation 1 there for the rescission and then a following recommendation. So would someone like to, Councillor Greatwich, Councillor Evans second? Sorry, Councillor Priest, I just missed your name going up. I'll catch it next time. Councillor Greatwich, either one wish to speak to it? No.
I think enough's been said. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Motion, all those in favour? Carried. There's a following recommendation there with regard to the Toowoomba Park. Move Councillor Greatwich, seconded Councillor Angus.
No, recommendation 2 of 7.1.6.
You got the one? Yep. Good. You wish to speak to it?
No, just that I'm sure there's some sort of metaphor in here about finally finishing the sausage or something. But let that
Councillor
ride.
Angus,
Go on.
No, thanks.
any further comment? I'll put the motion, all those in favour? Carried. (7.1.7) is correspondence that's from the South Australian Ombudsman for all councils. It's been circulated to all councils on page 441 with a recommendation that it's acknowledged the content that's been received from the Ombudsman's office. Councillor Priest.
I'll move it, but I wish to ask some questions about it as well.
Move Councillor Priest. And seconded Councillor Greatwich. Councillor Priest, you can speak to it and ask.
No, I just want to, it's okay, I'm okay with the letter from the Ombudsman regarding this matter, because it's quite a serious matter. But the question is this about a particular council or is it generic? Is this about our council? Because Councillor...
I think it's generic.
Okay,
As far as I'm aware, it's generic, yes.
okay.
Through you, Mr Mayor, it is obviously about an investigation, but it's not public. So I don't know how many councils, so I don't know who.
Yeah, for a follow-up question, because I remember Councillor to my left here, John Angus, what his name, moved the motion to take out a confidential matter and bring it into council. I was just wondering if that was in regards to that.
No, that's completely legal.
No, no,
Okay,
no.
thank you.
Councillor Priest, you just turn your mic off, thanks.
It's this is sort of one of those weird ones where, you know, one kid plays up in class and so you tell the entire classroom and everybody there's this sort of cloud hanging over everybody's head. It feels a bit pathetic, to be honest. If there's a problem with a particular council, deal with it. I mean, are they suggesting that this infers that this is so widespread? I agree with Councillor Priest that if this, I thought, what, is this systemic? Is this something that's going across all 60 plus councils, or is this literally just one investigation somewhere and they're just saying, okay, well, now everybody out of the pool? It seems like a very odd letter to write, frankly. They're very good at not investigating some things and then overkill with others.
I think the state government, sorry, the parliament got one as well. I don't know, is the answer.
Yeah, I believe it's just a scattergun letter that's gone out everywhere, so. Yeah. Okay, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Carried. 7.1.8 on page 445 is the Conciliation Conference, South Australian Civil and Administrative Tribunal. Councillor Priest matter on page 445.
I'll declare a conflict of interest and leave the room.
Thank you. Councillor Greatwich.
I'd like to move the motion, but then ask some questions.
I would just...
Yes? Yes?
And I can ask for a seconder? Okay. If you wish, you can go into confidence, I'm sorry.
I'm happy to have a very frank discussion on the public record. Yeah, this is all in the public. You mean being able to speak your mind without it being recorded?
I just mean it's a highly emotional issue and...
I'll make the call.
and perhaps people might feel a bit freer to express their opinion if it is in confidence. And time and place might remain to be repositioned.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, beg your...
Yep.
Your Worship, if I ask for the mover and seconder to, can they withdraw it and then remove it later? Is that possible?
I'll seek clarification.
Through you, Mr Mayor, we've got a mover. I don't recall having a seconder. Okay. If you've got a
that's
mover and a
buggered that then,
seconder,
yeah.
correct, you've got a debate on the
I
table.
wish you hadn't seconded that.
You can only now do a procedural motion or withdraw the motion.
Okay.
If we do that, is the whole lot gone?
I can't.
Hang on.
I can't talk about it now because I've been.
Hang on. I'll just get some clarification. The procedural matter is as such.
If you, sorry, I've forgotten the question, Councillor Head.
I was going to say, if we rescind what we've just done,
If a motion is withdrawn from the table, it doesn't exist.
That's right.
so then we can't discuss this item again then tonight?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if the motion's withdrawn, we can then have some further conversation.
Then you can move a different motion.
Same as this one though.
This is a recommendation that it now has a mover and a seconder, Council. So therefore it is normally proceeds to debate. So you are now in debate. You're allowed to ask questions, of course. So now it's up to Jess to actually address the issue.
I wanted to have a discussion
Or-
amongst everybody in the room before we moved something formally, but we're out of that.
Or it can be withdrawn and then the motion does not exist. Somebody needs to then put up a different motion.
So did you change one word in it, in this one?
All I can do is give you the trough. I can't make you drink.
The thing is, I really don't want to lose this motion. If we do what you're suggesting, are we going to lose this motion?
No.
No, you won't. You,
Move it as
look,
often as you want.
if you want to go any further with this, I can put the motion and you can defeat it and then we can start again.
But then you'll get confused, Your Worship.
Or you can, or the
Because it's
mover and
gotta be a
seconder can
procedural
withdraw
motion.
it.
Sorry, it has to be a procedural motion. Correct. So it needs to be defeated?
Yep.
Or you need a procedural motion such to lay it on the table, defer it to another time and another place, which can be to defer it for 5 minutes.
Councillor Drake.
Oh, sorry.
I appreciate that there's a,
Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry to butt in, but if you speak, you've now spoken.
No, I'm saying, I'm suggesting the process that we can. No, okay.
Okay,
We'll play this directly down the line. You can't speak because then you've spoken to the motion.
so the issue before you is we've got a motion on the table, it's been moved and seconded. I can put the motion.
Can I ask
and you
another
can defeat
question,
it.
Your
You
Worship?
can ask a question, yes?
Can a motion be moved and seconded and then defeated, and then moved and seconded identically 5 minutes later?
That's what I'm asking.
You can't have two motions running at the same time.
No. If
The answer to that is yes.
so we can basically defeat it now, have the discussion, and then move it again, second it again. If so, all right. So I'll let Jess speak. Then I'll speak against it and explain why, and then you can decide whether or not you want to defeat it or not.
Okay, we're going to stay with the motion that's before us, and then you can make your mind up whether you accept it
Yes.
or defeat it, and then deal with it further.
Yes, so I'm very pleased to speak to this to the purposes of having the motion defeated, noting the procedural requirement to do so. And, on the proviso that we can bring it back and have a discussion in, 2 minutes' time.
Do you want to speak to,
I'm happy to follow suit, to speak to this in 2 minutes' time. Thank you, through the Mayor.
Okay, I'm going to speak against this motion and I hope it's defeated. I don't mind if it's put up again and we support it, but what I wanted to do originally, and I've got an alternative recommendation here, is that we actually go into confidence because we are going to be discussing legal matters which should not be in the public domain because we are actually trying to decide on, this is in a, in legal conflict or no, not. Yes, it's in court. So obviously so what I'm proposing is that we actually defeat this motion. We then go into confidence. During that period, we then have an opportunity, because this council hasn't discussed this matter yet, to suspend the standing orders for a period where we can then all talk this through so that everybody's very comfortable about what we're doing. Then, if we're happy to go with the motion as it has been put, we can then re-put that. If there is something that we feel needs to be adjusted, then we can do that as a result. But so I'm hoping that as a result, you guys will defeat this motion.
I'm happy to second that we go into confidence and...
no, I've got to take this motion first.
Oh, you do?
Okay. All those in favour? Those against? It is carried. It's lost, sorry. The motion is lost.
Your Worship, I'd like to move an alternative motion. If I may.
Do you want to...
Yes, I'd like to go into confidence.
Thank you.
And I have some wording which has been given to me to go into confidence by the CEO. You can just cut and paste it. Yeah.
I move we go into confidence. Is there a seconder? Councillor Evans. Councillor Vries has moved, Councillor Evans has seconded. Do you wish to speak to your motion?
I think everybody understands what we're trying to achieve.
You. Councillor Evans?
Thank you, through the Mayor. Within the chambers and agree on some matters moving forward. Thank you.
Mr Mayor, can I just also make it clear that a decision on this matter has to be in open? Okay, under the Act, it has to be done in the open.
Oh,
Just for
Okay,
explanation,
you can have a conversation, you can talk about the legal matters, but you have to come out and make the decision in open council.
so then we just come out of confidence through the CEO
Then you have a
and
normal
then
debate.
announce a position statement
Cannot
with
make
our
a decision in confidence.
recommendation and move forward. Is
Correct.
that correct? That meets requirements? Thank you.
so for the gallery, we're going to go into confidence so we can have a chat about it, and then it'll be back for our decision will be for open council. So with that, I'll put the motion. We go into confidence. It is carried. Thank you. matter. Councillors, over to you. Councillor De Vries.
I'm going to test the waters. I want to keep this very simple. So the motion is that given that the tribunal wants to go to a full hearing, the council, yeah. Do you want me to? Oh, yeah. Given that the tribunal wants to go to a full hearing, the council are happy to abide by the tribunal's decision. My handwriting's pretty ordinary, and then
Better than mine.
so it's just that there.
You've moved that motion. Councillor Greatwich. Okay. See it.
So procedurally. Yeah, thank you.
Respect, can I just slightly tweak as I go? That council, noting that the tribunal will proceed to a full hearing. No, I get what you want to do. The council shall abide by the tribunal's decision. I think that's fine. I think that indicates to the tribunal that
Yes. So again, procedurally, just to be clear, is there the capacity to, has this motion been moved and now is looking for a seconder, or is there the capacity to edit this wording slightly?
if somebody seconds it and then you wish to modify the language, you will find the jurist to agree to that.
Okay. Is that correct? Yes? Well, in that case, I'm happy to second it and we can take that path.
Did you want to modify the language?
I'd like to, yeah.
Better off modifying the language now.
Oh, sorry, that's what I was just asking, yeah. So the modification that I'd like to propose, and I'm open to, feedback on this, is something about noting that the conciliated outcome or the proposed consent orders were considered manifestly inadequate, given the severity of the matters. I think that it's a strong language that makes the council's position clear. I don't want it to be the impression given that it's simply a shrug of like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll let it go to full hearing and consider it.
And considers the conciliated proposal inadequate.
Yes, I'll meet you halfway with that. I think it's important that it's not a neutral response to the conciliated outcome. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Shouldn't that be before the last abiding by the provision? Shouldn't that be last after that?
Perhaps like noting that council considers the conciliation proposal inadequate. Council agrees or accepts, thank you. Yeah.
I think we're starting to get very changing language, and I think it's actually making it worse, not better, for the tribunal. The reason why is because we've already provided a submission to the tribunal. It's silly. I don't think you need to say that we consider it adequate, because it's not what we wanted in the first place.
I suppose for my thinking on it is simply that as a matter of record, I don't believe that we have a neutral response. I believe that part of the reason that we are...
I'm not going to accept that. I'm open to
So with that in view, we'll go back to the original, what's been moved. Need a seconder. Councillor Evans? Oh, no. Yeah, I'm not,
So long as it doesn't change the intent.
the intent, yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay, all right, okay,
I've got a question.
yes,
Should the tribunal be the full wording, the SACAT, or does it need the...
yep, okay. Councillor Evans? Yeah, you're seconding it? Yep, okay. Councillor DeVries? Councillor Greatwich, I'll just get you
Oh,
to turn
beg your
yours
pardon.
off. Okay, thanks.
You're on.
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Your Worship. Okay, this council has already presented what it wants to the tribunal. We did that when the tribunal said they were going to hear this. I gather that is still the position of this council, and I don't see any reason why we need to reinforce that now. As I said prior, I want to take the emotion out of this, and I want this to be left to the people who are supposed to be sitting in judgment. We have been asked already what we want. We have told them. I have been frustrated by the fact that this process is constantly kicking the ball back to us all the time and making us make decisions, and that is putting us in opposition with Councillor Priest, who is one of our own. And I don't think that's the way the process is supposed to work. Therefore, anything that we put in this motion which tries to wrestle back from the tribunal the control and the decision then makes us culpable for whatever they're doing. I want them 100% to own this decision, which is why I don't want this modified. So from my point of view, this is now in the hands of the tribunal. If they get this wrong, that's with them. If they get it right, that's with them too. We have done what we were supposed to do from day one. We have followed the Act, we have followed the procedures, we have responded to the community when the community has raised concerns. We have acted responsibly. We have tried to fast track this. It has been stalled not just by Councillor Priest, but it has been stalled by the process all along the way. We have tried our best to make it work. Tens of thousands of dollars of ratepayers' money has been sucked into this process. I don't want to try and second guess the tribunal. I don't know what I don't know. I don't know why they have decided that they want to go to a full hearing, why they don't want to go to conciliation, and I don't want to second guess that process. For all of those reasons, I believe that they have an understanding of what this is all about. I think they recognise the severity of it. Otherwise, I don't believe that they would have asked to go to a full hearing. And as a result, I want to stay the hell out of it. So I hope that nobody wants to start trying to influence the outcome, because I think then if we start going down that path, we become responsible for the decision. And I don't want, it's all right, you're welcome to speak afterwards, all right? So for those reasons, I would like to let the tribunal do what they are supposed to do. Let them make the decision and let them be responsible for the decision.
Councillor Evans is the seconder.
Yes, Mayor. Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr Mayor. I just checked the resolution, the regulations. A seconder cannot amend the motion. And I just want to point out there's a
Just
slight
one line.
grammatical correction after hearing. We don't need to say that the council twice, it shall abide. It's just a grammatical check. Yeah. You okay with that?
Okay.
Bad luck.
You can talk to the motion or... Seconder, you can say defeated.
Thank you. I just had 8 words to put in there that would have just... Anyway. I've written them down.
You've written it down.
I can't do that. That's influencing.
What words do you want to put in extra? What words do you want to put in?
I'll show you. I'll write them so you can read them.
So I can
We're
read
allowed to
I'm
do
just
this.
look.
She's not moving an amendment, she's just making a suggestion for... We haven't heard it, it might be just...
It's kind of an extension of that sentence. It's not a...
I'm going to go out on a limb and say you can make this, and we'll make a decision whether it's an amendment or it's adding to the motion.
Thank you, Mayor.
Go for it.
All I was going to suggest is after "and shall abide by the tribunal's decision," we can make it a comma, "as the tribunal deems appropriate given the gravity of this matter," if it's not too prescriptive.
That's fine, that doesn't change.
No, I don't think it changes the intent.
Well done, that's good.
At the end of the day, it's your meeting, Mr Mayor. But the law quite clearly says it is an amendment and a seconder cannot move an amendment. Doesn't stop another person from moving an amendment.
Can you move?
Can anyone
Can you
else
do
move?
it? Don?
Yeah. Anybody? Councillor Barrett wants.
Okay, Councillor Evans has moved that one, but it looks like Councillor Barrett's going to do something.
Thank you, Mayor. The leave of the meeting, I'd like to add to the end of the current motion that as the tribunal deems appropriate, given the gravity of this matter.
And I believe in the light of that, that's an amendment.
I'm happy to accept that.
Okay.
Can't you just amend it with the
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
They've missed "as the tribunal deems appropriate." After decision.
Decision given the gravity of this matter. Is that correct?
Well, you could just leave it out.
Councillor Barrett moving the original motion. Yeah, we'll fix it.
Probably okay like that, really.
You sure?
This is best. Because they're going to deem it appropriate anyway.
Is that right?
That looks right to me.
Abide by the, as the tribunal deems appropriate, given the gravity of this matter.
And shall abide by the tribunal
Decision as deemed appropriate.
Yeah,
As
as deemed
deemed
appropriate.
As deemed appropriate, given the gravity of this matter.
I don't think it's changed it.
the
not really
meeting.
sure where you get to say you can't, blah, 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 blah. So it's the
That's
law.
what I was saying, I don't think it's an amendment, I just think it's modification of language.
No, I'm saying the whole
Yeah.
resolution doesn't mean anything. So, but, no.
take out as deemed appropriate.
No, no, it's the abide by the outcome that he's saying.
Yes,
Yeah, we don't have a choice whether we abide by it or not.
and shall abide, yeah. Shall support.
Okay, so councillor Barrett, so drop that down. Thanks, Mr Mayor.
So we're seeing this as an amendment, so you're moving this as an amendment? And I need a seconder. I don't think you can, you can't,
You can't second it.
no.
Oh, no, so
Councillor Hearn is seconding that. Councillor Barrett, wish to speak to it?
you're on.
Uh,
Change the word abide. If we don't abide by the decision.
Support the decision.
I'll stay with what we got. We're doing this on the run now, so. Councillor Barrett.
Thank you, Mayor. Whilst what I have added may only seem minor in nature, but it shows that we appreciate how serious this matter is, and we're trying to impart to the tribunal that we are going to fall in line with their decision-making and that it is a very serious matter. And that is why I've added that to the motion.
Thank you. You wish to speak, Councillor Hearn?
No, I agree with Councillor Barrett, Mr Mayor.
It's a matter because it's one item in the court.
Okay, we have an amendment. I'll put, seconded by Councillor Hearn. So, are we putting the mover and a seconder in that gap?
We've got that.
Okay, all right. So with that, I'll put the amendment. All those in favour? The amendment is carried. That now becomes the motion.
Which needs to still be debated.
It still
Can
needs
still be debated.
moved and seconded. Yeah.
So, Mr Mayor, the mover has spoken. But the seconder can still speak. Okay.
Okay. Need a mover and a seconder.
No, okay.
No.
No, you've got that. It's already. Tony's the second.
That becomes the substantive motion.
That's right. It becomes the motion now. Yep. Councillor Greatwich.
Need a second.
Because the system won't do it.
Yeah.
Move Councillor Greatwich.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, now we've got it. Thank you. Now it's open for debate. Any further comment?
He moved the amendment.
He moved the amendment.
But now that's the motion, we don't move it a second time.
You do. It's another, it's a new motion.
It's a new motion. Yep.
I thought we'd defeat, I agree with Councillor.
It's because we don't do this
Yep.
very often.
Councillor Evans.
We've just been reading the act.
Yep. We-
As a procedure, so. I don't understand. So you amend the motion, but then that becomes the new motion. Well, then you don't move the motion a second time. The amended motion is the motion. We now debate that motion. Yeah, but, well, then this is the first time I've ever seen it done this way in 23 years. I know, they were very slow to get around to that. I can still close the debate though. Yep.
So what page are we up to now?
Say that quietly, Ron.
Regulation 10. That's regulation 1210.
I'm going to ask for some clarification so we're all on the same page. We're going by the legal act.
Yeah, I agree. So, regulation 9 at 12 part 9 precludes anybody that's moved an amendment or seconded an amendment from speaking again. So, the motion that is now the motion is currently only moved. Yep. It still needs a seconder. Yep. But with the leave of the meeting, people can speak again. Under Regulation 10B. Sorry, Regulation 1210B.
This is so convoluted, honestly.
Good.
Councillor Angus has seconded that motion.
Now you do the debate.
Now,
And then anybody that's moved or seconded or debated, will just need to ask for the leave of the council. And then it's all legit.
so, Councillor Greatwich, do you wish to speak to the motion? No, thank you. Councillor Angus?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Mayor. I think this is a very good solution, and I believe the amendment is important that we reiterate to the tribunal how seriously we view this matter. The first iteration was okay, but I do believe the modification to this was essential and makes it gives the motion more meaning, and we can only trust in the system and hope like hell.
Thank you. Anything further?
Just got to ask for the leave of the meeting.
With the leave of the meeting? Yes. Okay, thank you. Councillor Evans?
Thank you. Just with the recording of the first recommendation suggested by Councillor De Vries, with the documentation, I seconded that one, conditional to, I understand I personally wasn't allowed to make amendments, however, I did second it conditional to amendments being made, and it has that I seconded it as it stands, and that wasn't the case.
It's irrelevant.
Really?
Okay. Anything further? Not, I'll...
Close the debate then.
Yep, thank you.
I have no problem with this modification. It captures... It captures the same intent that I had, which is I want this to go back to the tribunal. I want them to make the decision. I want them to do their job. We have made it very clear in our initial submission what we were wanting from the tribunal, and that is still live. This conciliation process has basically been halted by the tribunal, which is why I see it's now moot, because they've decided they want to go to a full hearing. And I have no problem with the idea of adding in the words deemed appropriate given the gravity of this matter, because it is a grave matter, and I don't think there's anybody who disagrees with that. So, yeah, I'm 100% support.
Put the motion. All those in favour? Carried. Bring Councillor De Vries back in. If we grab, sorry, Councillor Brees. Yeah, you've just spoke.
We'll all go back and brush up on our motions.
Yeah, we will.
Pardon the pun.
I read my book every time
Finance report. Yeah. Deal with all that.
to the monthly financial report, 7.2.1 on page 449. With a recommendation there that receive and notes financial update report as of the 30th of June.
Move the recommendation, Your Worship.
Move councillor De Vries. Seconded councillor Hearn. Either one wish to speak to it? Put the motion. All those in favour? Carried. Carried. Page 453, 7.2.2 is amendments to the 2026-27 fees and charges register on 453. With a recommendation of those fees and charges as of attachment 1. Councillor Barrett.
I've got a question, if that's appropriate.
Yes.
I'll just inquire, the $250 for emergency call-out fee, what does that capture? Just general inquiry.
I don't know the answer.
Can we delete it?
We'll take that one on notice.
We'll take that one on notice. We'll take it on notice.
You know, like the power's gone out.
It's rare for us, I know, but we'll take that one on notice.
We'll find out the background for that one. I could take a punt, but I'm not going to.
Well, it's obviously a call out from an incident, but let's get proper information.
It's also something of a deterrent, I imagine,
So
against
remember, it's been charged.
Oh,
help have stuff.
we'll check that one out, councillor. Thank you.
Well,
No, we haven't got a mover yet. Move councillor De Vries. Seconded councillor Greatwich.
Quick draw McGraw.
Anything further? All those in favour? Oh, sorry.
Sorry, are we still on the
fees.
fees? Beg
Fees
your
and
pardon?
charges. Yep.
Yes, jolly good. Glad, yes, I second that.
Yes. All those in favour? Carried. And the infrastructure and environmental services, 7.3.1 is the revocation of the Barossa Bush Gardens Section 41 Committee on page 457, with the view of them becoming an advisory group. Councillor Greatwood.
I'm happy to move the recommendation, Your Worship, and speak to it.
Thank you. Move councillor Greatwich, seconded councillor Schilling. Either one wish to speak to it?
Only briefly.
Thank you.
Which is simply to acknowledge that I understand that this is sort of an evolution process or an evolutionary process that's being enacted here, and that the Barossa Bush Gardens Committee or the Barossa Bush Gardens won't cease to exist. But nonetheless, I felt very compelled to acknowledge the extraordinary amount of work, the dedication of the volunteers. The Bush Gardens is an incredible asset for this community, and I know that Councillor Schilling deserves a significant amount of recognition for the investment over many, many years. I think we should, as a community, be enormously proud of the Bush Gardens and the role that it plays in our community. So whilst there is a formal revocation process, I just really wanted to acknowledge that it will continue to function, but that it's appropriate, I think, at that point to acknowledge the work that's been invested over many years.
Yes, thank you. I just want to reiterate that at the last Section 41 committee, there was a real positive feeling amongst all the intending and looking forward to a bright and great future for the site. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Mayor. Yes, I was just reminiscing because when I joined the council in 1999, that land was growing oats and having trotting horses running around the perimeter as a training track. And the council thought, well, what are we going to do with it? And I'm so glad that we agreed and have supported ever since the instigation and establishment and maintenance of the bush gardens. It is a real asset to the district.
And there was only one go.
Oh, wow, gosh.
Councillor Hearn.
Yes, I'd just like to echo the comments by Jess, John and Dave, and Councillor Schilling, I was on the committee for a while and it was really active back in those days, but it's gone ahead now under the management leaps and bounds, and it's a credit to this council and to the staff and the people that have been involved with it. A job well done.
I'm getting on the bandwagon. John, Councillor Angus stole my thunder. Yes, I remember that one single tree, and I remember we went out and had a look at it, and it looked pretty damn close to being dead, and the people who were there explained to us why, and we could see it for ourselves. The bush garden has been one of the great successes. In fact, I remember a couple of weeks ago we had somebody in here asking what they get for their rates. I wish I'd brought that one up, because that is an absolute... not only is it a fantastic resource in its own right, but it's actually changed the ecology of the Barossa. There were many species of birds, for example, that were disappearing, and thanks to planting a lot of more native plants, we've actually seen a lot of those species come back, and I think this has been one of the great successes. So, yeah, I think full credit to everybody involved.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. There's one further recognition I'd like to make. That was former Councillor Russell Johnson. He, I do believe he chaired the committee at one stage, and he did a tremendous job, so he can't go unacknowledged. So well done to Councillor Johnson.
Now I feel like, thank you through the Mayor. Councillor Johnson, thank you for that mention. Councillor Barrett, that's probably the most important thing this evening with the bush gardens to reiterate. Just to say, as all of my colleagues have said, the bush gardens has a special place in the heart of the Barossa, and it's a wonderful place for collaboration and for meeting, for storytelling and for learning, for all right across the board with our community. And having been living on the land, I know it plays an even more important role with plantings and revegetation and making our environment that we live in a healthier, happier place. So, thank you.
And seeing we giving recognitions, I'd like to recognise the previous director, Mr. Ian Baldwin, who really took this one under his little wing too. So, with that in mind, nothing further. Put the motion. All those in favour? Carried. 7.3.2 is the memorial plaque for the Bush Gardens volunteer Lynette Schmidt on page 474. Whose voice did I hear? Okay. No, there's no lights on, so I'm taking you. Councillor Angus and seconded Councillor Evans. Wish to speak to it?
No, I think that it's obviously well intentioned and well deserved.
Thank you, Mayor. It's extremely well deserved, and thank you.
Nothing further. All those in favour? Carried. Development and Community Services, the provisional entry of the Straight Great Lutheran Church, Light Pass as a state heritage place on page 477. Councillor Greatwich.
I'm happy to move the motion.
With Councillor Greatwich, seconded Councillor Schilling. Councillor Greatwich.
Wasn't this fascinating reading? What an interesting report. No? Pink Anguston stone and marble foundation steps and rhomboid features. I just thought it was brilliant. I think it's fantastic to see an example of more contemporary architecture being considered for state heritage listing, especially in the Barossa. I know that Straight Gate has a really strong community and congregation that sits around it, and I know that they've been consulted and engaged with as part of this process. So I enjoyed this thoroughly. It was a fantastic 30-odd pages. Very happy to move it.
Just reading through the council submission letter, I just picked up on the fact that Reckner College wasn't included in this submission, which I found was quite unusual. So I'm glad that council picked up on it and is putting it in that submission. Thank you.
Anything further? All those in favour? Carried. S- 7.4.2 is the accredited professional notification policy and process on page 523. As a recommendation there, the accreditation. Councillor Greatwich moved and seconded Councillor Hearn. Either one wish to speak?
No, it always makes me nervous when nobody else. Nothing jumped out to me.
Well done at the start.
Okay. Okay, we've got a mover and a second, and I'm not thinking, well, is it, either one wish to speak to it any further?
No, other than I would hope that my colleagues would throw a wadded up piece of paper at me.
All those in favour? Carried. 7.4.3 is the draft statewide flood hazard code amendment on page 535. As per attachment 1.
I'll move it if the staff are happy with it.
Moved Councillor Hearn and seconded Councillor Barrett. Either one wish to speak to it?
No.
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 Nothing further. All those in favour? Carried. Empower SA Community Battery Proposal, Lot 30, Millway Avenue, Drinkwater Crescent, Nuriupta, 549. With a recommendation for your consideration.
Yeah, I'm happy to move it and speak to it briefly.
I'm either happy to move it or second it.
Okay, so move Councillor Barrett and seconded Councillor Greatwich, sorry. Councillor Barrett.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll keep it very, very brief. Even though I've moved it, I'm disappointed. We've had 3 tries to get this battery system up and going within the council. We've tried Mount Pleasant, got a rejection, tried Stockwell, got a rejection, now tried Newry. I feel sorry for our sustainability officer and all the effort she has put in relation to this, and it must break her heart, the effort she's put in. So I just hope we can find somewhere in the future for something like this. But I do understand why we've backed out of it now. So that's all I've got to say.
I actually had a question. In reading through, I admit I did, spend a disproportionate amount of time reading about Straight Gate Lutheran Church, so I may have skipped over something about the battery. But I just wanted to clarify that was it the decision not to proceed based on a combination of technical unsuitability and community sentiment and feedback, or is there like a defining factor of that kind of, yeah, I just wasn't, it sort of seemed, I'd just like to understand that.
Through the Mayor, thanks Councillor Greatwich. So the decision to pull out of the program was solely due to negative community feedback. Yep. The battery technically was an appropriate site. All three sites were, with the exception of Mount Pleasant, we're told, Stockwell and Newry were considered to be technically suitable.
Anything further? Put the motion. All those in favour? Carried. 7.4.5 is the Barossa Vintage Festival Art Collection transfer to the Barossa Council. 564, page 564.
I'm happy to move that one, Mayor. Oh.
Seconded, Councillor Angus. Councillor Evans, you wish to speak to it?
Oh, look, no, thank you, Mayor. I think it's quite evident from the recommendation and happy to support it. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Oh, crikey, sorry.
I wondered how many pieces of art were in the collection, because it started a long time ago, and I understand it circulated through various wineries and industry offices. How much of it has been kept track of, and how much is sort of, oh, well, that's always been there, so it stays there. Is it going to take up, 4 walls of the gallery, or 100 drawers in the bowels of a building somewhere?
CEO.
I can't remember the actual number. I know the value was nearly 300 grand, 80, yeah. Well, we've been managing it for many years at the gallery, and it's put out on certain, for certain displays, etc. I used to have one in my office, and there's a couple in different offices. So, and it is tracked, and then presently it's actually stored at Barossa Cellar whilst we're doing the renovations. Sorry, well, they're not really renovations. Whilst we're building a new facility. So it is 80, isn't it?
Yeah. In excess of 80.
More than 80 it says.
But we've been insuring it and handling it for near on 10 plus years. I remember doing that as an early project with Joe Thomas, actually. So.
I just had a question which was to clarify the insurance costs, so thank you for clarifying that. But secondly, it's my understanding that part of the community benefit from this art collection was that it was actually available to be lent out to organisations, businesses, cellar doors, offices in the region. So I know that in the past at Rockford there was pieces that were there, and with a plaque, and it's sort of like so I think and that's something that I don't think is broadly understood in the community. So aside from having it in a dusty back room somewhere, I think that's an incredible opportunity to sort of have it more broadly displayed throughout the community. Or is it? Did I have to put a question on the end of that? And there's some incredible artists in there.
Anything further? Put the motion. All those in favour? Carried. (7.4.6) is the development application for a land division at Lot 1, Cemetery Road, Eden Valley. State Planning Commission request for concurrence on page 571. Any questions? No. Move councillor De Vries. And seconded councillor Hearn. Councillor De Vries or councillor Hearn, we speak? Okay. Anything further? All those in favour? Hang on. Councillor Angus.
This one did catch my eye, unlike my microphone light. And I was gobsmacked that we could actually still approve a land division like this in the rural area, but I have been informed by the man who must be obeyed that this is a legitimate transaction, but I view it with great caution, personally.
No, I wondered the same thing, but I've been reassured that the other blocks around there, it's just blending in with the neighbourhood. Okay, anything further? All those...
Sorry, Mr.
CEO.
It may be of value to actually understand why that is for everybody.
Okay.
I think it'd be of value because
I've been looking your way, but...
two people have asked you, not 10.
Through the Mayor, thank you. As discussed with Councillor Angus earlier, there is a restricted pathway of development under the Act that allows land to be subdivided in the rural zone and when it sits within the Character Preservation District as well. What it does do is it grants, or the relevant authority becomes the State Planning Commission, and then the council have to grant concurrence to that approval. So the Commission have found merit, which has been supported by staff, in that if you look on page 574 of your agenda, there is a clearly established previous allotment pattern in and around Eden Valley, and this is one of the few remaining, I think from memory, 64 hectare allotments. And importantly, the minimum allotment size will still be achieved by separating this into two. I guess the consequence of it is that 2 dwellings could be applied for and now likely to be approved but still, I reiterate, it still meets the minimum allotment size for a dwelling in the rural zone.
Put the motion. All those in favour? Carried. Councillor, we now get to a confidential item, which is 8.1.1, is the Supreme Court case matter, a quarterly update. So with that, I'll need to have a move Councillor De Vries and seconded Councillor Hearn. We go into confidence. All those in favour? Carried. Close the meeting, yeah. Council, that concludes our July meeting. Our next scheduled meeting is ordinary meeting is the 18th of August at 5:30. So with that, I formally close the July meeting. Thank you for your attendance.